Movember. Movember. That's right, we're growing the stashes. It's Movember. He's Jay, I'm Dan. This is SportsCenter with Jay and Dan. And I don't want to waste any time chit-chatting here. Game 7, World Series.
Man, let's do it. Let's go to Los Angeles. Let's go to Chavez Ravine. This is what everybody wanted. It's turned out to be one of the best World Series in a long, long time. Everyone wanted Dodgers-Yankees. Hey, it's a good thing the Stros got into this thing. They're looking for their first ever title in their 55-year history. Dodgers looking to win the Fall Classic for the first time since 1988. Bregman's at second. He'd later come around to score. Terrible start for the Dodgers. It's 2-0 for the Stros. Same inning, Yuri Gurriel steps in to face Darvish. For the first time since that racial gesture in Game 3, Gurriel tipping his cap to the Dodgers pitcher. He would fly out. And their starting pitcher, Lance McCullers, digging in, getting some tips from AL batting champ Jose Altuve. McCullers, the weak grounder to second, is enough to drive in another run. 3-0 Stros. It doesn't get any better for Darvish. Springer with a home run for the 4th straight game. You gotta believe he is a candidate for World Series MVP. Astros rolling. Darvish failing to make it out of the second inning for the 2nd straight start. His night is over. 5-0 Houston. 3rd inning, Clayton Kershaw, pitching on just 2 days rest, told reporters he could give the Dodgers 27 innings if he needed to. Gets Gurriel looking to end the inning. 2 on for Yasiel Puig. Gets a hold of the Brad Peacock offering. Dodgers fans were excited, but it really was nothing. Dies in center field for the 2nd out. As we jump to the 5th, Puig is now back up with 2 on, facing Chris Davinsky. Puig taking Davinsky deep in Game 5, just misses this one, fouls it back. Puig, just a fiery character, still battling Davinsky, getting Puig to line out to end the threat. 8 base runners stranded for the Dodgers. Game 4 starter Charlie Morton on the mound. So we're going all the way to the bottom of the 9th. Final out as Corey Seager grounds out to Altuve to end it. And the Houston Astros win their first ever World Series in their 55-year history. And it's heartbreak for the Dodgers and their fans. Charlie Morton, as I mentioned, was sensational. Pitched the final 4 innings of this one. The Dodgers now 0-3 all-time in Game 7 of a World Series at home. By the way, there are now only 7 active Major League franchises without a World Series title. It's the 17th straight different winner without a repeat champ since the Yankees won 3 in a row. Can you believe that? Parity is back in baseball. All right, you know, you have to feel for you, Darvish. So good in the DS and the CS. In the World Series, he picks just a horrible time to have the 2 shortest outings of his 5-year career. In both games, he lasted just 1 2/3, allowing 4 earned runs in each game. And by the way, the person who's probably most upset is Darvish's agent. Yu Darvish is a free agent this offseason.
Crosby versus McDavid. What needs to be said? We're going to break down stats, their legacies? No. Instead, why don't we do this? When these two play, which they did Wednesday night for the 4th time ever, enjoy it for what it is. A meeting of 2 of the greatest players of their generation.
Well, there's a look at
McDavid scored Edmonton's lone goal in their last matchup. Crosby yet to score a point in a game against McDavid in his career. No assists for Crosby, but the Penguins on the board first. Oilers on the power play. But for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he scores his 100th career NHL goal. McDavid with his 6th career point against the Pens. Leon Draisaitl with a tap-in. Look at this, right here. Oh, and then watch this pass. Oh, my. McDavid's 3rd multi-point game of the season. 2-1 Oil. Wow, that was nice. Crosby's first point against McDavid comes after McDavid just missed a wide open net for the tap-in. It's tied at 2 after 2. Flashing back 8 days ago, Evgeny Malkin feeds Kessel for the overtime winner. Third period, Penguins on the power play. Malkin scores. Pittsburgh beats Edmonton for the second time in just over a week.
19 seconds after the penalty to Nugent-Hopkins.
Toronto Maple Leafs continuing their West Coast road trip in Anaheim, riding a 3-game losing streak and shuffling the lines. Patty Marleau at center between James Van Riemsdyk and Connor Brown. 1-1 after 1. Austin Matthews has 5 goals in his last 7 games. Matthews off the bench. Brown, what a great pass in alone. Off the post! But in the second period, it is Aneroid, Saskatchewan's Patrick Marleau. And by second, I mean third. Patrick Marleau just chipping home that backhand to make it 2-1 Leafs. 12:45 left in the third. Meanwhile, the Leafs continue their West Coast road trip against the LA Kings. Molson Canadian Leafs hockey is on TSN 4 Thursday, 10 Eastern. Let's crank this music, Jonathan. Love it.
The Toronto Raptors are barely into their season, but remember October 30th. The Raps went into Portland on Monday. Undermanned, no Jonas Valanciunas, no Serge Ibaka. Yet held the Blazers to 85 points and drove out of Portland with a win. In Denver Wednesday night, guess what? Jonas and Ibaka both back in the lineup. Kitchener's Jamal Murray dives into the stands. Look who he's right in front of. Matt Duchene, friend of SportsCenter with Jay and Dave. Murray took over from there. Easily drives for 2. Murray grabs a loose ball. Spots up from deep. The Canadian put the Nuggets up 33. 16 of Murray's 24 points came in the third. Denver put up 43 in the quarter. The Raps never led. So remember November 1st on your calendar. Maybe instead. Still to come. They've had run-ins before, but Lance Stephenson took it to another level with LeBron on Wednesday. We'll show you that next. You know what? I really like that guy. He's honest. Nice. Hey, and you can see him if you're in the Habs region Thursday. It's live on TSN 2, 8 Eastern, 9 Pacific as the Habs road. What's that, Tim? Oh, 9 Atlantic. Sorry. There you go.
We were going to learn about Mark Borowiecki's sickness there.
Leon's starting to sound like a coach.
I can see it. I can see it happening. Canadian Tire Sends Hockey, Wings and Sends, Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, 8:30 Atlantic on TSN 5.
Jaromir Jagr will miss his 5th straight game Thursdays. The Flames host the Pens, so he's been out almost 2 weeks. Jagr's still day-to-day with a lower body injury.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have lost 3 straight. They held a team meeting Tuesday to air out their grievances, and LeBron told reporters Wednesday this year's training camp was the worst of his career because of an ankle injury. What's next? LeBron getting hit in the testicles by Lance Stephenson? LeBron and Stephenson do have a history dating back to the 2014 Eastern Conference Finals, where Stephenson first blows in LeBron's ear, and then in the same series, oh, Stephenson with the flop, motionless for over 10 seconds. And over 3 years later, the rivalry is still alive as Cleveland hosted Indiana. Stephenson meeting him in the paint and forcing James to his knees. Why? The aforementioned testicles. Flagrant 1. It's more like a flagrant 2, eh, Dan?
Yes, I was waiting for it.
4th quarter, Stephenson flops again. This time the refs don't fall for it. But that was the only bright spot as the Cavs lose their 4th straight.
Bucks and Hornies. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the first player in 25 years to score at least 28 points in the first 7 games of the season, first quarter. Giannis picks up Jeremy Lamb's cut to the basket. Switch is over for the blocking transition. He's got 4 Hornets in front of him. Here. Thanks for highlighting those guys because, yeah, he beat them all. Out of Tecumbo, that was just 2 of his season-low 14 points as the Bucks lost.
Okay, how about Canadian Andrew Wiggins? He scored 20 or more in 9 straight on the road. Still loving these new Timberwolves unis with the Fitbit logo. The second quarter, splitting a pair of defenders before laying it over Davis and DeMarcus Boogie Cousins. Wiggins had 18. Third quarter, Minnesota in transition. Karl Anthony Towns. This is a sure basket. If not for Boogie Cousins. Boogie Cousins at the Rochester. Later, Cousins. Did you know he has range? Because that's a nice looking three-pointer. 5th triple of the night, ties his career high. He had a game high 35. Jimmy Butler and 1. T-Wolves win.
Simmons just an assist shy of a triple-double as the Sixers win their 3rd straight. Simmons says he needs to dunk more. He needs to dunk more. And then he says, sometimes I get out on the court and I'm like, wow, these guys are really big.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's like better than anyone ever expected him to be. He's fantastic. New sponsor for our walkover clock.
Yeah, we noticed last night I had dandruff in my eyebrows, so now Brow Beater, the shampoo that's strictly for your eyebrows, has come on board. So
long overdue.
Thanks, Brow Beater.
As we showed you earlier, the Houston Astros are your World Series champions. Houston winning their first World Series title in franchise history, Dan. Charlie Morton, sensational, pitched the final 4 innings of the game. And by the way, Dan, with tickets being sold for thousands of dollars a seat at Chavez Ravine, you know there are a ton of celebrities there. It's LA, right? I mean, who did you see at the game? So many great ones. Of course, Larry King. He's everywhere. That hat looks like it was $12. Andy Samberg. Yeah. Who else?
Matt Sundin's there. Good to see him. He's looking great.
Fantastic. Toronto Mayor John Tory and Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Sean Connery, and I think that's Topher Grace.
Where's he been? And finally, in front of Mary Hart, that is Henrik, not Daniel, City.
I'm glad they got seats. Yeah. After Sidney Crosby's Penguins bested Connor McDavid's Oilers, or beat. Oh, did you see how they bested them last night? The 2 stars faced off again Wednesday for round 2. McDavid had 2 helpers, including an amazing pass on Leon Draisaitl's goal. Crosby finished with 1 assist, and the Penguins 3-2 win. So McDavid keeps winning the points battle, but he doesn't win the battle in the standings.
No, he doesn't, Danny. And you know if he had his choice, he'd lose that points battle, and they would win. And this, boy, the Oilers are really... How much longer can this go on before they do something to shake it up? It's really... Pat Maroon, he seemed very sad.
They need to make that speech in there. Hey, you guys in this room, you're the ones fixing it, just like Bergevin in Montreal.
Get Bergevin in there.
He's the GM of the other
He's the GM for a different team. Canada's Olympic hockey jerseys were revealed Wednesday, which brings us to our favorite fashion segment, Sports Clothes. Here we go. No, they're hideous. Oh, God. Oh, they're awful. They'll be worn by the men's, women's, and sledge hockey teams. Why? Who designed these? A blind person? Oh, these ones are worse. Who designed these? A blind person with no taste? Oh, God. No, seriously, these are awful. They're horrible. And this has been Sports Clothes. Sorry, Dan, I have strong opinions on that.
It's okay to have strong opinions. Hey, we're a month into the NHL season. We continue to track nicknames around the league. It's a very popular segment. It's called NHL Nicknamesy. Play with us, won't you?
Obviously, Wedgie was there when we needed him.
Clutter made a really good play in our own zone.
Say it's Himes chasing down icing.
You know, Schenner's first year here.
Let's was a story for us.
And Hutsy, you know.
Abby, Helmer, and Franz all play alike.
Credit to Butchie, credit to the guys in front.
Gets it to Kells, and, you know, he comes in and attacks.
The good thing about Bozy is
I think you can really see Barzy hitting his stride now.
The thing I like best about Rads is he's not afraid of the moment.
Bish was huge for us.
Vladdy, we talked about this a lot.
Get rewarded off a nice play by Pelly.
Tats, Nike, and Z all play alike.
We always like to use a USA Today pie chart for nicknames around the NHL. 42% E, 32% S. Huge jump. Not even on the board last week. 16% 5% Z, and 5% Bish. This has been NHL Nicknames. It's good.
I loved it. I love that segment, Dan. It's huge.
No other sport uses nicknames that much. No other sport on earth.
Yeah.
No, none of them.
Why do you think that is? Is someone going to do a study maybe right now?
We're launching it this week.
Okay.
MLS. Vancouver and Seattle will play their second leg Thursday. After a 0-0 draw on Sunday, the Whitecaps will advance with a win or a tie as long as goals are scored.
Are those fireflies?
You can catch it on TSN 1, 3, and 5. On TSN 2 and 4, it's Choose Your Own Adventure programming. Coverage of TSC's second leg of their playoff with the Red Bulls begins Sunday at 2:30 on TSN 1 and 4. TFC won the first leg 2-1. Now return home where their 20 home wins this season tied a league record.
That leads us to the Jannies. It is the awards for the greatest of things. Janny 1. Andrew Harrison taking the long pass, and then between the legs to set up Mario Chalmers, the vet, for your Memphis Grizzlies.
Giannis Antetokounmpo drives hard to the rim. Oh, boy. Over Frank the Tank.
Poor Frank the Tank. ATP Paris Masters after hitting the ball off the roof to lose a point. Fernando Verdasco accidentally throws his tennis racket into the Was it really accidental?
Maybe don't play tennis in a basement. Jeff Green. Punk fake it, drives to the baseline slam.
Okay, here we go. Connor McDavid setting up Leon Draisaitl. I have a feeling we'll be seeing this later, Dan, in 1v1.
Karl Anthony Towns thinks he has a layup in transition. DeMarcus Cousins chases him down. Boogie, huge block. For the Raps, things did not go well.
Oh, they were atrocious in Denver. Maybe they were distracted by Matt Duchene sitting courtside, just hanging out, having beers.
Duchene didn't look like he was having that much fun, though.
This year, that's sort of the theme of his life. Yeah. Friend of the show. Friend
but
of.
Don't bring work home with you.
That's a good point there. That's a good philosophy in life. Welcome back. The UFC held open workouts Wednesday at Madison Square Garden ahead of this Saturday's UFC 217. GSP will be back in the octagon against that guy, Michael Bisping. He's looking to defend his middleweight title for the second straight time. The two have a combined 50 UFC fights between them.
Dan Lefebvre will start at quarterback in the Blue Bombers' regular season finale against the Stamps. Matt Nichols has been ruled out as he continues to nurse a lower body injury. Andrew Harris is expected to play Friday. Harris left against last week's game against the Lions after taking a hit to the head. With a win, Winnipeg will host the West semifinal, and that game against the Stamps will begin on TSN 1 at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. The rest of the TSN feeds will join in progress immediately following the conclusion of the Als and Tabbies game.
Kyrie Irving, the NBA's resident flat earther, is back at it again. After walking back on his outrageous belief that the earth is flat, he claimed it was all one big troll job on the media. Irving went on a podcast with UConn women's basketball coach Gino Auriemma and said this: I won't sit here and say that I know. And when I started actually doing research on my own and figuring out that there is no real picture of Earth, like there is not one picture of Earth. Kyrie Irving does not have Google Images.
Hey, Kyrie, Chris Hadfield, he's on line 1.
I mean, the space station's taking pics of Earth right now. He's taking a picture of your head, Toolsy. I know he's not a he. It's an object in space.
There are 3
But I like to think that he, over at the Paris Masters, after having a disagreement about a call and then about wearing a sponsor's watch during play. Look at this, Dan. Alexander Zverev got some revenge on chair ump Carlos Bernardes, untying his shoe on the changeover.
You can't do that.
Zverev would go on to lose the second-round match. Hey, Zverev, why don't you wear a few more chains? Who are you, Barry Gibb in '78?
Who are you, Mr. T? He's still alive.
Yes, he is. I think Barry Gibb is as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, the other Gibbs are not with us.
Oh,
Robin.
okay, the other Gibbs.
Yeah.
2 Chainz? 2 Chainz doesn't wear a lot of chains, does he? Just 2.
2 Chainz had a different name before, right?
That's not for... That's what you Google again.
Ah, yes, that's for Kyrie when he's looking up
Except
Earth
Kyrie,
pics.
when you do Earth, you click on the top bar, you can go images.
Yeah.
And then
you
that
just
brings
put
up all-
Earth in the bar and then hit images. And then all these pictures of the planet would come up.
Yeah, so someone needs to teach him that.
Time for the worst play of the day. The worst play of the day. Rockets and Knicks. Damian Dotson crosses up Tariq Black badly. The crossover is so vicious. Black loses his footing and falls down on his rear end. Worst play of the day.
The young lady who's disappointed in the guy with the glove. Wow. Make a catch. Come on.
Dan, what do you think about grown men who bring ball gloves to Major League games?
1-year jail sentence. 1 year.
Yeah, well, that is the kind of swift justice you can expect on CTV's newest live afternoon courtroom show, Judge Dan. When other judges with law degrees won't give you what you want, enter Judge Dan's courtroom. He bought the robe at a dollar store, and he's accepting bribes. 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, CTV and TSN2. Yeah, you'd have to go home anyway.
Yeah, so the rule of baseball gloves, over the age of 16. No,
Yeah.
you can't.
How am I even gonna go? I'm even gonna say 14.
Do you bring hockey? Do you wear hockey gloves? I know you're doing it to catch a foul ball, but you don't wear hockey gloves to a hockey game when you're an
I
adult.
bring full equipment, and I sit in the stands with my skates on, skate guards as well, just in case I get called in. Wow, we're up high.
One big one time. Get your guts hip, your hip. Get your ram hip. Okay, so I think you know who the challenger is.
Oh, yeah.
It better be.
Unless producer Tim is totally gone insane.
Okay. Producer Tim, you nailed it. You picked it. I don't think he has any say in this, but hey.
Producer Tim calls all the shots here.
It is Javinko!
You want to know why TSN2 has the programming it does? Tim.
It's Sebastian Javinko. I think you're going down, bud.
Yeah, it's over for you, Javinko, but you'll find out on Thursday's early edition of SportsCenter, Dan.
Slick oil against Italian.
With a slick oil Hamilton.
You blew it earlier in the show. I mentioned during the Whitecaps game that the other TSN channels were choose-your-own programming, adventure programming. I guess I was wrong. And also, I got some time zones mixed up in the show.
This is exciting, though, Dan, because it's November the 1st, so it's time to launch our Movember campaign. Here we go. My first day.
Not much there. Not much to be expected. Mine's going to be even a lot less. Yeah. Well, look at, why is this? Look.
What, Dander? Ooh, Dan, Head and Shoulders. We like you on as a sponsor. What's going on? A little dry skin all over you.
I'm falling apart.
What's happening to you, pal?
What's this?
You know what you need?
Change in seasons.
Can we get Jergens on as a sponsor?
Just someone rubs it on my face the whole show.
just a Jergen rep, just lubing you up. That's on the next SportsCenter.